How to maintain a good credit score over time. You might be in the process of fixing or building, or you already have the credit score you want, but there's some things you should know. So sit back, relax, grab a pen, get some paper, get something to drink. We go get straight into it. What's up, family? I'm back with another one. Hey, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the family. So in today's class, we're going to be discussing four things, all right? The first thing is, in order to maintain a good credit score, you got to know what's harmful, right? Number two, in order to maintain a good credit score over time, you got to know how to protect it. Number three, also you need to know is one essential thing that's going to help you maintain a good credit score. And last but not least, if you don't have good credit, how do you actually fix it? We're going to be talking about it all. So, in order to maintain a good credit score, right, over time, one of the things you got to do is figure out what's harmful to your credit score. So, I had to bring Mike on here because I love how he explains this one specific thing, co-signing for a high risk borrower. And we already know who the high risk person is.
Yes, I mean the need for the cosigner is the most dangerous thing that you can even do for your credit, right? So if somebody needs you, that means they already messed up in the past, right? Now we could learn different behaviors, but most likely somebody who ain't fixed their credit yet still probably have bad behaviors when dealing with credit. Now what happens is normally the person with bad credit will try to, I guess, how do I want to say it? They will hope that the person with the good credit won't ruin their credit, so they can just pick up the slack. What you think about that?
Yeah. But what about kids? They don't
Oh,
have no.
oh, you
How
wanted
do
to
you
talk
feel
about
about
me?
how do you feel? How do you feel about parents co-signing for kids?
Oh yeah, I would definitely never co-sign for my kids.
Wow.
Because that's the opportunity you get to actually get them to build their own credit so they can
Mhm.
understand how it is. But number two is you don't know their behaviors yet. Like you think somebody's going to pay back their bills. You think something's going to happen, but man, them teenage hormones, man, have you doing something crazy? I bet everybody that's watching today can remember something they did when they was 18, and they're like, man, I should have never did that.
Even for a car,
Even for a car. Um,
you don't have your.
I
Nope.
would no, I would co-sign for my son a car. Nah, he gonna have to deal with that high interest rate. We gonna get some 2010, uh like it probably cut off a couple times, donuts on the tire, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you gotta rock out with that before I co-sign for you because I need to know that you understand credit number one and that you ain't gonna, run off with mine because you only work at McDonald's, you know what I'm saying? You're 18, you ain't really got no job.
Man, I love the take. Shoot, I feel the same way. Ain't co-signing. So another harmful thing I feel is credit cards. The reason why is because if you can understand, if we don't like credit cards can actually work against you if you don't properly use it. All right. So like we've been using credit cards thinking that we was gonna pay it back later on. We will buy something. We're like, man, I'll pay it back later on. But normally we don't pay it back. So if you're not going to use it correctly, just don't use it at all. It does help your credit, but if you're not going to properly use it, I just say it don't make sense actually using your credit card. Just continue paying cash and doing what you do. Of course, late payments. Sometimes we forget to like if we use our credit cards or use certain things, we forget to pay it. So of setting up automatic payments is going to help you over time and make sure you keep on top of that just in case because sometimes the banks even mess up when it comes to setting yourself up or reminding you or doing certain things and or switching you over like a lot of things we heard a lot of stories so we want to make sure over time if you want to continue to have good credit just continue to be on top of your stuff like you already been doing, all right? So another thing to in order to maintain good credit is actually protecting your credit, all right? Now conclusion one, two, and three, there are three places you can go to. Two for sure, TransUnion and Equifax do have free like you can freeze your credit reports, right? You can freeze or quote unquote lock your credit reports. You can lock it all of them for free, but they have apps now where you can actually freeze on TransUnion, Equifax. I think Experian, you have to pay for that specific thing they have. But that's a good way to, keep your credit, maintain it, is locking it, freezing it if you ain't using it. There's a lot of fraud going on. So you can actually add a fraud alert to your credit report. So now they have to specifically call you if you pull out, like if you use your credit. So that's another good thing. And also you're going to continue monitoring your credit because, if you have insurance on your car, you need insurance on your credit. All right. You need to be maintaining your credit and protecting your credit and watching your credit all the time. All right. Now, I might get a lot of pushback on this, but I believe if you're in business, you should consider or think about considering starting a business in order to get business credit. The reason why is if you're a good steward of your money and you're doing certain things, you will, I would say, you will want to get a business credit card because, first of all, it doesn't report on your personal. And over time, you can build up. Let's just say you want to get a 800 plus credit score. Well, if you get business credit cards, you can actually apply for business credit cards, and you're only going to get an inquiry on your personal. So now it doesn't report on your personal, it's on your business side. So you can build up the credit score you probably quote unquote want. So that's another thing you should actually suggest. I suggest you do. Now, if your credit score isn't in a good place, watch this really quick. So here's the process of what you need to do to fix your credit. All right. Whether you have collections, this is how I think when it comes to fixing credit. All right. So the collection, the breakdown, hard inquiries, the breakdown on how to dispute hard inquiries, negative accounts. All right. Charge off, like all the negative accounts that's holding back, whether they're open or closed. All right. Accounts that got reinserted back on your credit report, because if you dispute a collection and it comes off, guess what? You still owe the money. Doesn't mean that you're removing from your report that you don't owe the money. All right. So sometimes they sell the debt and it comes back on your credit report. And most importantly, like if your accounts got verified, and there's another process, if let's just say the credit bureaus didn't respond to your dispute, that's another process. If you have a bankruptcy on your report, that's another process. There are so many different processes when it comes to fixing your credit, but we're going to talk about a few processes. The ones are, of course, if you have negative accounts, if you have, like most everybody have hard inquiries. And when it comes to collections, we're not going to talk about that just yet, because if you're not ready to take this, go the distance against the collection agencies, don't worry about that right now. But if your accounts got verified, of course, we're going to talk about that as well, because I want to make sure you understand the process of what it looks like to fix your credit. So we're going to be talking about everything step by step by step. I got you. Just want to break down so you can understand. All right. So first things first, what do you do? What do you need to do? All right. So if you have negative accounts, this is how I kind of think about things. All right. So what have you done? What haven't you done? So if you haven't done nothing, the first thing you want to do is understand this one law. All right. Now, there are many laws, but I just want to break down this specific law. All right. So whenever a consumer reporting agency prepares a consumer report, it shall very important. All right. Follow reasonable procedure to ensure maximum possible accuracy of the information concerning the individual about whom the report relates. The reason why is because if you apply for something and your credit report is not accurate, guess what? You're going to be denied for the thing. But if your report was actually showing it accurate, you already know. So it's costing you things that you need, and also hurting you as well if it's not reported correctly. All right. So you can read the laws yourself, but that's just one of the specific laws. There are many other laws. So if you look at this report, all right, does it assure maximum possible accuracy? Look at it. The last reporting, 10/13/2023, 9/13/2023, 10/01/2023. All right. 3 different dates. Date last active, the same exact thing. Data last payment, same exact thing. All right. As you can see, it's not assuring maximum possible accuracy. This is how you can remove accounts from your credit report. All right. Based off of that specific law. Now, is it 100% guarantee it's going to come off? No. However, that's like one of the laws you can leverage to get it removed from your report. All right. So now that you understand that, now you want to create your letter, right? You want to send a letter based off of your report. All right. So as you can see, you want to have your name, address, today's date, who we talking to. The reason why is because you don't want to send the same letter, especially if you have negative accounts only that's reported on Experian and it's not reported on TransUnion and Equifax, or if it's just reported on 2 out of the 3, you want to have your letters different, right? So you want to create 3 separate letters based off of your report, all right? So to whom it concerned, I just recently looked at my report. I wanted to make sure everything is 100% correct and accurate. Can you reinvestigate the accounts listed below? The reason why we're using these specific terms is because we're using it based off of the laws. All right. We just following the procedure that the law has to follow. Right. The Fair Credit Reporting Act. All right. So you want to put the account name, who the account that you're talking about, and the number. Now you don't need the full number, just like, oh, I was not showing the number, but just like you don't need the full number. It could be 1 2 3 4 star star or XX, whatever that looks like. All right. Now, and then what you're telling them to do is reinvestigate the completeness of every piece of information. And if it's not accurate, please remove it from my credit report. All right. Now, the reason why you're doing this is because it's not your job to tell them to update, modify. That's their job to update, correct, and fix certain things. All right. So you want to send this letter out, and then of course you want to get it notarized. All right. The reason why is because when you send a letter out to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, sometimes they will say you sound like a credit repair company. I can't verify it's you. So many things that they be saying. So if you can get it notarized, go ahead. You can go to UPS, the banks, certain places, go get it notarized. Just look it up in your area. But you also want to get it certified and add 2 forms of identification to your letter. All right. Now, after you do that, you want to wait for your results. All right. Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, they have 30 days to complete your investigation and 5 additional days to mail you out the investigation. All right. So that's 35 days from the time they receive it. So just wait, because if you dispute again, they have 15 additional days according to the law. So don't dispute again. Wait for the results. All right. Now, as you're waiting for the results, a few things might happen, but your accounts might come back verified. And if they come back verified, this is the thought process of what you want to do next. All right. So if they come back verified, here's what we're going to do next. All right. You want to compare your reports, because if you go down to 15 USC 1681 I-5, they were supposed to update, modify, make sure everything was complete. All right. So it's your job to look to see if they updated, modify, what did they do when it comes to your report. So if you want to compare your reports from like last month compared to this month to see, like, did they change anything? Did they update anything? Did they modify anything? All right. Now, if you got some accounts removed, congratulations. But if you didn't, most of the time they do say they update, modify, whatever they say. You want to compare reports to see if they actually did that. Now, next, what you want to do is understand this specific law, because typically they usually say they did, but what did they actually modify? What did they update? What did they fix? So if you want to know that, you're going to ask them to provide you a description. So according to this law, 15 USC 1681 I-7, right? A consumer reporting agency shall provide to a consumer a description referred in paragraph 6B3 by no later than 15 days after receiving a request from the consumer for that description. All right. So you ask Experian, you ask TransUnion or Equifax to provide you of what they did to verify or update those accounts. All right. Because you want to know what they update, what did they fix? Because if you compare your reports, you're going to see that they really didn't fix nothing. All right. So now what you want to do is create your letter. All right. So here's how you're going to create your letter. Put your name, your address, today's date. Who are we talking to? Are we talking to Experian? Are we talking to TransUnion, Equifax? All right. Their Experian, their TransUnion, their Equifax. I'm writing to request a detailed description of the investigation process followed by your agency regarding the accounts, regarding the disputed accounts on my credit report pursuant to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, 15 USC 1681 I-7. Under this section, right, credit reporting agencies are obligated to provide a description of the investigation within 15 days of receiving a consumer's dispute. All right. So put the name and account that was verified. Asking them to provide the description of the procedure of the investigation used to verify the account. If you can't, delete the account immediately. All right. So just list all the accounts that got verified. And now what you want to do is wait. All right. So according to the law, they have 15 days from the time they received it. All right. So make sure you add 2 forms of identification with this letter and certify it. Now, wait your 15 days and probably 5 additional days for them to send it to you because they have 15 days to complete. So about 20 days, wait for it. Now, usually what happens is they don't respond back to you within 15 days or they don't send you nothing. So what do you do next? You actually want to file a complaint with the CFPB. All right. So how do we file a complaint with the CFPB? I'm walking through that process of what it looks like. So first things first, what you want to do is go ahead, create an account with the CFPB if you don't have an account already. Now, once you already have an account with them, now what you want to do next is click on credit reporting. And then we want to scroll all the way down to the bottom, click on credit reporting again. All right. Now, what we want to do is click on next and basically walk you through the process. Next, what's going to happen is we're going to say what happened. All right. Problem with company's investigation. It's an existing problem. Their investigation did not fix an error on your report. Have you already tried to fix this problem? Yes, you have. Did you request information from the company? Um, yes. What information did you request? You can put right here a description of the investigation of how they verify my accounts according to 15 USC 1681 I7. And then did this company provide you this information? No. And then now what you want to do is just click on next. All right. Now what you want to do is basically state what happened. And I'm basically going to provide you kind of a description of what to write up because everybody is different. So it's based off of what you have going on. So give me 1 second. So here's a write-up. All right. I looked at my report back on January 9, 2024, whatever date that was, and noticed some things are incomplete and not accurate. And according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, whenever a consumer report agency prepares a consumer report, and we're just using the laws, all right? I'm gonna go ahead and skip all that because I don't want to read all this. But these accounts right here, and then are not complete and accurate. And then I sent the letter asking them to make sure everything is complete and accurate. And here is my tracking number. So you can add your tracking number. And they basically violated these laws right here. And that's what the laws happen. And then you ask them to provide you a description. They didn't do that as well. And then what do you want to happen? All right. So what would be a fair resolution to this issue? Delete. You want them to delete the accounts. All right. What accounts do you want them to remove on your report? You want to go ahead and grab the whatever accounts that you listed on here. Okay. So just grab it, copy and paste, and then just list the accounts that you want removed off there. All right. So, and then next after that, you can also attach the evidence that you did. All right. So you can, basically what letter did you send to them? And then you can provide it. And if you want to show how it's incomplete and not accurate and all that extra stuff, you can also upload everything that you've done. And then you click on next. And now who you're talking to. Are you creating a complaint for Experian? Are you creating a complaint for TransUnion? Are you creating a complaint for Equifax? All right. You want to keep it separate. Here's why. Experian probably doesn't have the same negative accounts that's on TransUnion, Equifax, and vice versa. So you want to keep it separate and then create 3 different complaints. Okay. Now, once you do that, all you're doing now is just looking for the reported agency. So Experian, Information Solutions, Social, last 4, name as it appears on your report. And then you just want to put all that information right here and then go ahead and click on, do you want to complain with another company? No, and then click on next. All right. Now, after you click on next, typically what happens is the consumer report agency, not a consumer, the CFPB will respond back to you within 15 days. And what might happen is Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax might ask for 60 additional days. Now, you usually don't take them 60 additional days. Usually they'll be done within 30 days. So just look out in the mail or look out in your actual database to see like if they responded back, remove some accounts, whatever the case may be. All right. Now, what do you want to do next? So typically what happens next is you want to go ahead and remove some of them hard inquiries that's holding you back. All right. We could talk about building your credit up, but I want to talk about removing hard inquiries off of your reports. Okay. So removing your hard inquiries, what you want to do is call Experian, call TransUnion, Equifax. The reason why is because they have specific reports that's going to help you dispute based off of the good law, right? So you want to call them to order the reports. You can't go to annual credit reports because they don't show specific information that looks like this. Okay, it doesn't show that this doesn't have permissible purpose and things like that. So that's the reason why you want to actually call them to order your reports, because it actually breaks down the report. So as you can see, permissible purpose, consumer request, but some of them, Bank of America, Nation Star Mortgage, um, SYNCB doesn't have it. As you can see, Upgrade, Upstart, Goldman Sachs doesn't have permissible purpose. All right. So you can leverage that to actually dispute those specific hard inquiries and get them removed from your report. Now, how do you create the letter to do this? Here's what you want to do. All right. Put the name, the address, the date. Who are we talking to? Are we talking to Experian? Are we talking to TransUnion? Are we talking to Equifax? Sorry. I just recently looked at my report. I saw some hard inquiries that did not have permissible purpose. Can you reinvestigate the inquiries listed below? I'll also attach the evidence. All right. Name of the inquiry and the date. This inquiry has no permissible purpose to be on my report. Delete this inquiry due to violation of 15 USC 1681B. All right. And then you want to send 2 forms of identification, certify it, right? And then you want to send it to whoever you're talking to and just wait. And usually you'll start seeing your hard inquiries fall off.